From the NMSU Department of Journalism and Media Studies in collaboration with KRWG, this is the student-produced News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kiri Rogers.
And I'm Elijah Gonzalez. A Los Cruces man was sentenced to 18 months in the New Mexico Department of Corrections for extreme animal cruelty.
37-year-old Javier Cobos was recorded striking basset hounds, Billy and Nani, with landscaping rocks in February 2025. Cobos will be on parole for 1 year following his sentence. He will have to complete anger management counseling and an animal cruelty education program. He will also have to pay a $5,000 fine. Well, this weather has been quite surprising today. I had to bust out my sweater that I thought I was done with.
I know. What do you got going on for us in weather, Linda?
Well, I can tell you it has been mostly cloudy with temps of 56 degrees and wind speeds being 8 miles per hour west-southwest, 56 degrees of the humidity, and the dew point being 41 degrees, and the barometer being 30.01. And then the high today was 62 degrees, the low being 41, and then a good average of 52 degrees. Now our record was 84 in 1989, and our low was 26 degrees in 2013. So we did have a little rain today, so our precipitation did go up by 0.2 inches, so it adds to our 1.98 inches. Now let's toss it back to the desk.
El Paso County is seeing the highest midterm primary turnout.
Nearly 93,000 voters cast ballots in the March 3rd Democratic and Republican primaries, topping past midterm records and exceeding several presidential election years. A significant jump for a local election that a political science expert says appears to be driven largely by economic concerns.
Stay tuned. Linda will be back with your national weather forecast.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Tuesday,
where news matters. New Mexico leaders are hoping a new law will help bring more doctors and health professionals to the state. On Friday, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham signed a medical malpractice reform law designed to stabilize the state's healthcare system and improve access to healthcare. The reforms are intended to reduce barriers for physicians considering practicing in New Mexico and help hospitals recruit and retain providers amid a statewide shortage. And Linda is next with our national weather forecast.
Thanks, guys. Let's take a look at our national map. So obviously it was a little cold here in the land of enchantment, but we're starting to see it be a little hot in some other regions, such as New York being 75 and even 85 in Washington, D.C., and even lower down in Miami being 81 degrees, and in New Orleans being 84 degrees. But that's not the same story for like Los Angeles, it's 70 degrees, and a little colder being 63 degrees. Now let's look at my next map. So it's going to be a little rainy within Texas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma, and even our state. So just be aware, if you're going to be driving tonight in New Mexico, it might be a little rainy. Let's look at our next map. Now with rain comes a lot of cold, so in these regions such as Wyoming and such as Louisiana, it has kind of chilled down. We're not kind of seeing that spring feeling yet, but maybe in the next coming weeks we'll see it. That's all I have. I'll see, but don't go too far. I'll see you out there, Rick. Okay, let's take a look at our local temps right now. So let's look up on the northern part of the state. It's a little hot, kind of at 72. Santa Fe, we're seeing 61. Farmington, 65. Now let's go a little down. Socorro, it is 66. In Las Cruces, 56. And down in Deming, it is 52 degrees. Tomorrow, we're seeing temps of 65 in Santa Fe, 64 in Farmington, 65 in Gallup, 76 in Socorro, 63 in Ruidoso, and 70 in Roswell, and in our hometown, 78 degrees. And in Deming as well, it's going to be 78 degrees. Now in Alamogordo tonight, the low is 58 degrees with a little partly cloudy. Tomorrow it's going to be 75 degrees with it being windy. Tonight in Truth or Consequences, it's 62 degrees, kind of clear skies. Tomorrow we'll see 78 degrees, but it'll be a little windy as well. In Silver City, tonight it is 51 degrees, and partly cloudy. Tomorrow will be 72 degrees and a high, and it'll also be windy. And here it is 41 degrees right now, partly cloudy. Tomorrow it'll be windy with 78 degrees. Back to the desk.
Now it's time to spin it over to Jasmine for more sports.
Thanks so much, you guys. Coming up in sports, MMA fighters are gearing up for a big night at the Pan Am, but the real fight is happening long before they step into the cage. You can toss that remote because News 22 Sports is next.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
For the win! He got it!
Welcome back. I'm Jasmine Pollard, and let's talk sports. NMSU's men's basketball has momentum for the first time this season and snuck its way into the Conference USA tournament. And tonight, it's do or die time against Jacksonville State. In spite of an otherwise rough team season, the team caught fire these last few weeks, in no small part due to their 2 wins against Jacksonville State earlier this year. Since their first win over the Gamecocks, they found ways to close out games, which is something that they've struggled with all year long, and they finally fixed it. Tonight at 7, live from Huntsville, Alabama, the Aggies hope to keep their season alive. One big reason for the resurgence is senior guard Jamel Jones, who earned all CUSA second-team honors this season. Jamel Jones averaged 17.8 points per game, 3rd in Conference USA, and led the league in box plus minus, with NMSU doing 7.4 points better per game with him on the court. He transferred to NMSU this season from Cal State Bakersfield by way of Chicago, Illinois. In the last game against Jacksonville State, he put up some incredible numbers, scoring 29 points total, leading the Aggies to their win against the team. Jamel Jones will be starting tonight when the Aggies compete in the first round of the CUSA tournament against the Gamecocks. On the women's side of sports, however, things are not looking as great. Head coach of women's basketball, Jody Adams, has been fired. Adams started at NMSU in 2022. Her first season, the Aggies were runner-up in the WBI. Since then, the Aggies have seen a steady decline in overall wins and tournament appearances. The Aggie athletics director thanked Coach Adams for her hard work and said NMSU will start looking immediately for the next women's basketball coach. On Saturday, some of the best local mixed martial artists will take center stage at the Pan American Center. Ben Schlittler takes a deeper look into how those fighters get ready.
They put in the work here.
Oh, we got it again!
To get here.
Man, what a fight here we got going on.
Empire is a mixed martial arts gym and promotion in El Paso that's been hosting cards at the Pan Am for the last year. And Saturday, they'll be back with a reign of champions. For Yazleith and Fernie, it's their first fight, and their training has them ready.
I'm super excited, honestly. I have such an amazing team, amazing coaches. I couldn't feel more ready.
I'm expecting to go in there, and I'm guaranteeing fight of the night. You know, if he meets me in the middle, I mean, it's going to be fireworks.
For Javier Duchesne, this is his 11th fight, and he says that the devil's in the details, especially with striking.
Yeah, because when you have them thinking up, if they're thinking up top, they're constantly being like this. And once you have them right here, that's where that body shot comes in. Yeah. Boom, and if you want, you can go again. Body, throw a knee.
There's more to MMA than just the punches and kicks. It's a very cerebral sport that takes intense mental dedication.
Charlie Vasquez is the head trainer and promoter at Empire, and he stresses the importance of going into a fight with a game plan.
Me and my partner, we go back and forth. Hey, how are we going to get this in? What are we going to do? How are we fixing these things? Every single one of those guys has a game plan for the guy that they're fighting.
Another aspect of fight prep is cutting weight, which is controversial in some cases. Fighters can cut up to 10% of their total body weight in a week. But when Charlie's fighters cut weight, he says he always makes sure that it's done safely and thoroughly.
So we'll get them down to within 12 pounds right around fight week, and then those last 12 pounds, they usually come off pretty easy. Water loads, and then nice, easy, slow dehydration.
Whether they're young and hungry or a wily vet, they hope to put it all together this Saturday night. Ben Schlittler, News 22.
And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead on News 22, Linda will be back to take a look at your 5-day weather forecast. But first, a local coffee shop and the Las Cruces community are working together to support LGBTQ+ people. More on that when News 22 continues.
Grounded and the Las Cruces community are continuing to support LGBTQ+ people.
Yes, on Sunday, March 1st, the coffee shop held its second Drag-lesque brunch with queens from Las Cruces, Albuquerque, and El Paso. The event offered a fun space for people to express themselves, enjoy food, drinks, and entertainment.
I mean, the whole fun thing about drag is that the audience is really part of the show. So they're there hooting and hollering and they're tipping and they are the show.
The event also offered free HIV and syphilis testing. Grounded will hold 3 more shows this year, one in April, September, and November, making sure that the LGBTQ+ community continues to have a fun and safe place to celebrate themselves.
All right, Linda, what do you got for our 5-day forecast this week?
Okay, perfect. Tomorrow we're going to have a high of 78, a low of 44. On Thursday it'll be a high of 77, a low of 44. Friday it'll be a high of 84, low of 45. Saturday a high of 85, low of 46. Sunday a high of 86, a low of 46.
Perfect. And that's all for News 22 Tuesday. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight.
Tune in tomorrow for more news, but don't go too far because Isabel Laule is next with Noticias 22 en Español. I'm Kiri Rogers.
And I'm Elijah Cadvales, and from the whole News 22 team, Kiri, Linda, Jasmine, and myself, have a good night.
This news brief en español is brought to you by Noticias 22, la información más completa de Nuevo México, El Paso y la frontera. Noticias 22.
Buenas tardes y gracias por acompañarnos. Les informa Isabel Laulé aquí en Noticias 22. Las autoridades de Nuevo México inspeccionaron una estancia que pertenecía al fallecido delincuente sexual Jeffrey Epstein. La propiedad, conocida como Zorro Ranch, se encuentra en un área remota al sur de Santa Fe. Las autoridades han estado revisando la propiedad con cuidado luego de que un locutor de radio local afirmara haber recibido un correo electrónico en el que se decía que 2 jóvenes extranjeras habían sido enterradas en un terreno elevado cerca de la estancia. La alegación no ha sido verificada, pero tampoco se sabe hasta qué punto se ha investigado. Muy buenas tardes, eso es todo por hoy en Noticias 22. No olviden seguirnos en Instagram, Facebook y YouTube. Muchas gracias.